Hello, Ashley Milky here, certified life and business coach, and I am so pumped to talk to you today about how to make money in Facebook groups. Hot topic, I know, and I've been talking about this a lot this week, and I've had a conversation with people, and their minds are blown that you can even use Facebook anymore to make sales, and it's really true. And so today I'm going to tell you guys about how I leveraged other people's Facebook groups in my first month of business to book the sales calls that allowed me to quit my job in that first 30 days that I launched my first offer. We're going to talk about some strategies I avoided that helped me to grow my email list from 0 to 300 people in just 1 week using other people's Facebook groups. And then some strategies that I see people using that just definitely don't work. So we're going to dive into all of those things and get ready. Okay, how to make money in Facebook groups. So the problem that I see a lot of people face, especially new entrepreneurs, is you're like, okay, where am I going to promote myself? How am I going to grow my audience? How am I going to find clients? And I always tell my own clients, like, we're not finding clients. We want ideal clients to find you. And so we have to show up where they're looking. But until we do that, when you're trying to just promote yourself on Instagram and grow a following there, or even promote yourself on your own Facebook profile, you're going to run into a couple of things. This is the wrong slide. So I'm just going to tell you guys what I'm supposed to be saying, which is the problems that you're going to find yourself running into are: one, it's taking a long time to grow your Instagram audience. That is just like the name of the game when it comes to Instagram. It's hard to grow followers. It's just like feels like there's so much resistance. My clients are always asking me, how do I get more leads? How do I get more leads? And honestly, your content is going to be the thing. And sometimes it takes time for that content strategy to really grow and gain that trust. The other thing that you're going to run into as an issue is you're getting pitched way more than you're getting clients. And if you're noticing that as a theme, it's probably a sign that we want to expand your visibility. It's also a sign that we want to increase your authority, maybe through the content strategies you're using, but we can talk about that a different time. And so these are the things that we want to focus on and fix when it comes to getting the best results. Now, if you are someone who is going to leverage other people's Facebook groups to make sales, it's going to help you with the three things that are probably your goal. You're going to land clients out of nowhere, and I'm going to talk about what that process looks like when you use other people's Facebook groups. Your visibility is going to grow very, very quickly, and you're going to start to write convincing messaging that allows you to show up in a way that's a little bit different and different in a good way, where you're going to sign clients. And I think I wrote a post about this earlier this week, but really I was saying, like, imagine if instead of just posting to, the thousands of people that you have on your Instagram account, all of a sudden you had access to tap into, communities of hundreds of thousands of potential ideal clients. It's almost a no-brainer to use those resources, but a mistake people make is really like squandering the opportunity by making these mistakes that we're going to talk about now. And so just for those naysayers who might say, well, my ideal client isn't on Facebook, they're on Instagram. I saw this amazing graphic the other day of who is where and what social media platforms they are using. So feel free to take this, use this as a guide. I forgot to mention there's a worksheet that goes along with today's training. So if you want a copy of the worksheet, just comment worksheet down below if you're watching this now or the replay, and we will make sure you get a copy of this worksheet. The worksheet also includes Facebook groups that you're allowed to promote yourself in and post your free value in, and we're going to talk about when you should do that. But check this out, right? Like, so if your audience is in this age range where you're working with 18 to 49-year-olds, their top accounts that they're on is YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Incredible, right? And I mean, like, the 50 plus crowd is on Pinterest, which is just interesting in its own unique way, but very, very interesting that Facebook is in the top 3 for every single age group. So, for anyone who thinks Facebook is dying, it's clearly not. It might not be the priority. Interesting that TikTok is so low. I thought TikTok would be higher, but interesting that Facebook is still so popular, and really where Facebook is thriving is in their groups, in their communities that they've allowed us to create on this platform. And so this is something to think about when you're thinking, okay, where are my people? And I mean, obviously YouTube is the first, but growing a YouTube audience, as you might guess is rather challenging. And so you have really untapped potential here on the Instagram and Facebook front. And we're going to talk about how to use that today. So the first thing that you have to do when you want to leverage Facebook groups, really when you want to make any kind of sales in your business, is truly starting to master your message. And I've talked about this to no end with my clients this week. I just had a call with my 9 to Freedom group last night, and I actually stayed late with some of my clients beyond our call to help them master their messaging. And mastering your messaging starts with defining your ideal client. For all of you who are like, I can't niche down, I don't want to niche down. When you talk to everyone, you will sign no one. That is the fact. That is the reality. I was talking to clients like a couple days ago, and I was like, you need to pick a person to help, a specific person. And if you want to impact the entire world, I admire that. And I love that. We're going to pick one person for your first million, your second million. We can help the rest of the people, right? And so you want to master your messaging. And that starts with getting clear on who are you talking to? What is it that they want? What is it that they need? And how can you help them? When you define those things, all of a sudden your content, the posts that you're creating are going to land so much better than just like kind of hoping that whatever you're posting is working. And again, if we go back to this other slide, if you master your message and know who you're talking to and know what they want to hear, you can better figure out what communities are going to be the most important for you to hang out in, to speak in. And especially if we're thinking, if you're using other people's groups, you want to know who's in those communities. And if you know who your ideal client is, you can be reassured that you're going to find those right people in those communities that you're searching for. So that is the very first process. And if you are ever posting in other people's Facebook groups and you're like, why is this not landing? Why does this post get so many comments, hundreds of comments, and mine doesn't get any? The foundation might be you're not speaking to a specific result, specific client, giving a specific message that drives a specific action. So the next thing is, after you master your message, is then we can start leveraging existing networks. This is where other people's communities come into play. We want to use other people's networks that they've already built and borrow some of that authority. And you might have heard of this before. You're going into an established place where people feel safe, where people trust the environment, and you're presenting yourself there. And this is a really unique opportunity because, if I think of some of the groups I am in, I mean, my group is 1,000 people now, which is incredible since it started from zero. And I think anytime you start from zero, it's just like a really cool feeling when you get to 4 digits, anything, $0 to $5,000 a month, $0 to $1,000 or 1,000 people on an email list. It's really exciting. But some of the communities that I'm in on Facebook have 500,000 people, untapped potential, right? And I love that perspective too when we think about leveraging other people's networks, because it really just makes me feel like the world is abundant and there's enough clients for everyone and all of those things. And so you want to find those existing networks where your ideal clients are already hanging out, so you can tap into that and gain attention and visibility there. So versus if we think, okay, I'm going to go post on my Instagram account. Let's say you only have 1,000 followers there. You're going to get some people to see, maybe not even all of the 1,000, but if you're leveraging existing networks and showing up there and creating visibility for yourself on a consistent basis, I'm talking every single week, almost multiple times per week, people are going to start tuning in, paying attention, wanting to connect with you, wanting to learn more, and wanting to dive in. And at least for my clients, I teach them how to write content that guides people through their decision-making process. If you can take a strategy like that, where you are addressing the concerns someone has at every single stage when they're thinking about hiring someone like you, and you present that inside of a Facebook community, you can do exactly what happens on your Instagram account. So if you don't know what happens on your Instagram account, if you're trying to turn a new follower into a client in, like, let's say 24 to 48 hours, new client follows you, what's going to happen? Or new potential client follows you, what's going to happen? They're probably going to binge all of your stuff. This happens to me all the time. I have people who are like, let me binge every single video that Ashley has ever made, which is, there's a lot of videos. There's like almost 200 videos on my Instagram account. And the reason why I can sign clients from that process is because my videos are designed, my content is designed to take someone who is like, oh, I'm not sure if I need a business coach, to, oh my gosh, this is addressing every single thought I've ever had about hiring a business coach, growing my business. I need to hire her right now. So if we take that same process and put it into somebody's Facebook group, what do you think is going to happen? A lot of people might think, well, they're not going to see all my posts, so like it's not going to matter if there's 500,000 people, they're never going to see all my posts. But you think wrong, because what often ends up happening is people go down the rabbit hole. And I'm sure you've done this before too. You go down the rabbit hole on Instagram or on Facebook. You see a Facebook post, you think it's interesting, you think, who's this person? You click on their account, and when you click on someone's account in a Facebook group, every single post they've ever created is available to you in that group. Anything they posted in that group is going to show up first before you even head to their profile. So if you're posting in other people's groups consistently, all of a sudden you can take their audience, guide them through their decision-making process, and make sales that way. It's truly incredible the untapped potential that's available for us here. So let's talk about mistakes that you want to avoid making. And the biggest mistake is like avoiding hookup culture. And I think it's funny to call it this, but like this is the posting ghost. And so like, let's say you're someone who's already using Facebook groups and you're not getting great results. You're like, yeah, I posted them. No one ever engages with my stuff. No one ever comments. No one ever talks to me. See point number one, that you need to master your message first. That could be what it is. But there's so many people who are like hookup culture, posting ghost, like they're selling their stuff and then they're leaving. You're going to the comment thread where it's like, oh, you can sell your offer today. You drop your offer and hope it does something, and it does nothing. Or even in my community, like sometimes I get so surprised in my Facebook group. Every Tuesday in my Facebook group, people are allowed to sell themselves, right? They can sell their stuff, sell their freebies, whatever. They do it, but not all the time. But then they don't post any other day of the week, which is just like mind boggling to me, because you're, like I said, squandering an opportunity to build a relationship. And sales are about relationships, but I'm not going to say sales are about long-term relationships. It's not to say that you need to post in someone's Facebook group for like 10 months before you could sign clients through one, but you need to have enough frequency and consistency that someone can look back from your sale post to see other things you've done and been like, wow, that's some like real value. That's some really interesting perspectives this person has on the problem I'm trying to fix right now. And so instead of engaging in like the hookup culture of Facebook groups, the post and ghost, I want you to start thinking about, how can I give value inside of this group without selling anything? How can I make people so curious about who I am, what I do, without ever posting what I offer, how to hire me, things like that? I think a lot of people downplay the success that you can have in the groups where you're only allowed to post things where you give value. I give value. I think I've probably given value for free, like no pitch at all, and probably 50 Facebook groups this week. And it's been amazing. And you know what happened as a result? Someone saw the post, someone stalked me, someone joined my Facebook community, said they had a problem, and I started to message with them and booked a sales call. And that's how the process goes. And so when you stop avoiding this like post and ghost culture, just share your offer, share your offer, share your offer, and you move into the place where you can display your expertise, talk about the things you're doing with your clients in these communities, then all of a sudden you take this opportunity, this visibility, and you start to shine and you start to show up in a way where people are going to start paying attention to you. Now, this could be to your downfall, right? Like you could be showing up so much that maybe like the Facebook group moderator or admin feels some type of way. This hasn't happened to me yet, but I have noticed in some groups I'm way more active than other people, and it's just like something you got to roll with. And so when it comes to like giving value, that's going to be really, really important in building a relationships with the peoples in these Facebook groups. And then the other thing I will say is like, you know, when it comes to those messages where you are selling things, you have to be so crystal clear in your messages. I don't even care if it's a freebie you want people to download, because I have had clients who are like, I posted about my freebie and nobody commented. And I'm like, well, what did you post? Was it clear? Who was it for? You know, you have to let people know, what is this? Who is this for? What does it do? What's the result? Why do they need it right now? It's as simple as that. And sometimes it seems simple, but we often get, and especially my clients that I work with, get so caught up in our heads about our zone of genius that it's hard to communicate that zone of genius. And so if you can start to figure that out, now all of a sudden showing up in Facebook groups and making sales for them is so much easier. And if you have questions about how to show up in Facebook groups and how to leverage them, let me know. Hi, everybody. I will send you the worksheet as soon as I hop off of this. But yeah, so if you have questions about how to leverage Facebook groups, definitely drop that down in the comments below. And then I'll remind you all, like, you know, I have a worksheet available with this. And so if you're someone who wants to start to use Facebook groups to make sales, comment worksheet down below and I'll get you a copy of the list of Facebook groups. I've organized them where it's like you have to pay to promote yourself, but you can give value every day, or you have a free value you can give all the time and a specific day to promote yourself. So comment worksheet, I'll help you get a copy of that, and also some worksheets that go along with this video training. But Facebook groups are the underdog. Like I said, I signed my first group of clients from Facebook communities. And it wasn't even the ones that you would think, because I was doing life purpose coaching. I was working with regular everyday people. So people are like, this only works for business owners. Let me just squash that. And I'm so glad that I started off like doing like business to consumer first. So that way I could like just really know in my core anytime anybody's doing business to consumer, I'm like, no, these strategies work. And I found my first group of clients in a podcast group. So a podcast group where I knew my ideal clients liked this podcast. They were probably hanging out there. And, I posted stuff, gave value that made people curious enough to want to connect with me. And if we talk about, like, I know I mentioned earlier, like how I got 300 people on an email list, it was simple as doing the thing where I had a very specific result from a very specific freebie for a very specific person. And I shared that after I had given a couple value posts that explained my process, what I do, the results I achieve for my clients without any expectation or call to action at all. So those are some things to think about. Drop worksheet down in the comments below if you want a copy of it. And the other thing I will say is I'm getting a group of coaches together who want to hit their first 5K month. And so if that sounds like you and you're trying to figure out how to expand your visibility, how to get more leads, how to get more sales called books, and how to sign more clients in the next 90 days, go ahead and comment deets down below and I'll send you the details so you can see if it'll be a good fit for you or not. All right, that's it for me. I hope everyone has a lovely, lovely day, and I will see you on our next one. Bye, guys.